So, Hannah Hidalgo, the best or second best player in college this year. The leader, the front runner for National Player of the Year until about 3 games to go. And somehow in one of the Athletics, whoever, I can't remember who it was, National Player of the Year, she didn't get a single vote. And it turns out that the disrespect was even worse for Hannah Hidalgo. Because, let's be honest here. Let's be honest. So, you have got you've got Juju Watkins, unanimous first team All-American. Understandable. Completely understandable. Look, I think with the way Juju ended the season, especially in the regular season, it was between her and Hannah Hidalgo in a neck-and-neck race for Player of the Year. I think the fact it was unanimous for Juju was crazy, but unanimous first team All-American, obviously. Lauren Betts, the number 1 overall ranked team in UCLA. They only lost twice all year, and it was only to the same team twice, and was unbelievable. Unanimous first team All-American, obviously. Paige Beckers. Was she a first team All-American or not? I don't know. Maybe. She was first team All-American, but she's in all of UConn's losses, there were not all the blame he put on her, but like down the stretch, she showed up smaller than mini-me in all of their losses. And unanimous first team All-American. Unanimous is crazy. So then Hannah Hidalgo, obviously, without question, the next best player after Juju, if not the best player. But she, obviously unanimous. Oh wait. She wasn't unanimous. She was not a unanimous All-American. Hannah Hidalgo was not a unanimous All-American. I'm sorry. That vote is an embarrassment to basketball. And I mean that. It was an embarrassment to basketball. There were 2 people that voted Hannah Hidalgo, and they need to be named and shamed. And I mean that. These voters need to be named and shamed. Like, just like that, they need to do it with that one voter. Like, I forgot his name, but remember your man had to do a press tour, the guy who voted for Carmelo Anthony in 2013. That has to be the case, because this has nothing to do with basketball. And this is why the vote should be taken away. She was the second best player at worst in college. And the fact that she wasn't unanimous. Because this is people that just don't like Hannah Hidalgo. The simple as that. And look, I'm not going to talk. Like, there's no point having a discussion about, like, Hannah Hidalgo's views. Because at the end of the day, like, there's nothing to be gained by having that discussion when we're talking about basketball. But you want to know what is to be gained when talking about basketball? When you have the privilege to vote for an All-American spot, a Player of the Year spot, you only make it about basketball. And those 2 voters have proven that it wasn't about basketball. Just like the person who voted Angel Reese 4th in MVP last year, who voted Angel Reese as the Rookie of the Year. And by the way, again, Angel Reese had a good year. She had a good year. Angel Reese missed a chunk of time. Her team stunk. And she wasn't the best player on her own team. Like, I don't think anyone would argue that Kennedy Carter was not the best player on that team last year. Someone voted her 4th for MVP. And I'm very confident that that person who voted her 4th for MVP was probably the person who voted Arike 3rd and De'Erica Hamby 5th or something like that. They were definitely one of the people, because it's not a basketball vote. We saw these MVP votes. These are not basketball votes. But at least in the NBA, we know who the dude is that voted for Domantas Sabonis, All-NBA first team a couple of years ago, and All-Defensive first team. We know who that guy is. It was someone from Malaga where he grew up. So it's like, there's some BS there. There's some absolute BS. But all I'm going to say is, with all of this stuff, you've got, like, when voters don't vote clearly, and I mean this, when voters very clearly aren't voting for basketball reasons, they should be not only named and shamed, they shouldn't be allowed to vote again. And the reason why, like, these voters in women's basketball they just have the freedom to make votes that aren't anything to do with basketball. That's just disrespectful. And like, look, I'm not going to sit here and say whether or not you should like Hannah Hidalgo, whether you agree or disagree with her. That's not my place to say. And at the end of the day, when purely talking basketball, I don't care. I genuinely don't care. Like, when we are talking about basketball awards, she was the best and at worst the second best player in the nation. And there are two people that decided, you know what? Nah. You know what? Nah. And it's not a basketball decision, because we all know she was leading every single poll, every single race, every single poll. Like, she was leading until one game to go. Literally, she was on top of every poll until Juju Watkins cooked UCLA the second time. So with that being said, we've got to be honest here. This was just completely a personal bias vote. And for me, it's ridiculous. Like, that type of stuff shouldn't be allowed. Like, it just shouldn't be allowed in voting. And anyone who does make, again, a vote with personal bias rather than actually going out and making a basketball vote for a basketball award should lose the right to vote. And I mean that. And whoever those voters are, again, should be named and shamed, because if it was a basketball vote, we can hear them making just a dumb basketball argument. Because at least if it's a basketball vote and it's a dumb argument, you can just be, okay, yeah, it's just a dumb argument. But there's no, like, from the outside looking in, it looks like it's in bad faith. It looks like it's in bad faith, and we've had a year of bad faith voting in in women's basketball, with hiding behind a shield of anonymity. So yeah, anyway, that's pretty much it. It's an all around just weird situation. It is, like, it's just very strange seeing what's going on with this, and like, it's not good. It's not good for basketball that the topic of conversation a lot of the time isn't basketball. I can't wait for the season to start. Dear Lord, like, I genuinely cannot wait. There is nothing I would rather do than talk about purely basketball. And the positive is the NCAA tournament's on. First round matchups. In fairness, there's been a few good ones. Like, my bracket kind of got screwed because, you know, I picked one that got destroyed. Did I? Sorry, yeah, I picked Vanderbilt to win. I think a lot of people. Vanderbilt are in the game. They're back in this game. Jesus, I thought it was over. I was like, they're getting absolutely killed. I had them going to the Sweet 16, so my bracket's not great. But yeah, Oregon, they can pull it off against Vanderbilt. Fair play, and that's probably the only real upset so far. Like, Indiana was an 8-9 win. South Carolina won by 60. There's been no other upsets, to be honest. Tomorrow's gonna be a fun day. And I might consider going live. When is the Iowa game? So the Iowa game is at 4 p.m. my time. I'm not gonna stay live for the USC game. I might go live for the. Actually, no, I can't go live because the only way I can watch the game is on playback. So, yeah. Anyway, that's the video. I'll see you guys.